$300 sounds like a made-up number, until you actually track what you spend on vegetables and herbs every single month. I did that exercise 2 years ago, and what I found shocked me. Between the salad greens, the tomatoes, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, the fresh herbs, and all the other produce my family consumed, we were spending well over $300 every month at the grocery store just on items I could grow myself. That realization changed everything, and within one growing season, I had replaced almost all of those purchases with food from my own backyard. This is not a story about becoming a farmer or quitting your job to homestead. This is about using the space you already have to take a meaningful bite out of your monthly expenses while eating better food than you could ever buy at a store. The first thing I had to accept was that my grocery bill was not fixed. I had always treated it like a utility, something that arrived every month and had to be paid without question. But unlike electricity or water, the food budget is almost entirely within your control. Every item you grow yourself is an item you do not have to buy, and those savings compound quickly when you focus on the right crops. Not everything is worth growing from a financial perspective, and learning to prioritize changed my results dramatically. I started by making a list of every vegetable and herb my family ate regularly. Then I looked up the average price per pound for each item at my local grocery store. The results were eye-opening. Salad greens were costing me nearly $8 per pound when I bought the organic spring mix we preferred. Fresh herbs like basil, cilantro, and parsley were even worse, sometimes $3 or $4 for a tiny plastic container that would barely last a week. Tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers added up fast, especially during the winter months when prices spiked. When I totaled everything, I realized I was handing over thousands of dollars every year for food that grows easily in ordinary backyard conditions. The next step was figuring out which crops would give me the highest return on my time and space. This is where most gardeners make mistakes. They plant whatever looks interesting at the nursery without thinking about value. I took a different approach. I prioritized crops that were expensive to buy, easy to grow, and productive over a long season. Salad greens top the list because a single 4x8 bed can produce enough lettuce, spinach, and arugula to eliminate store-bought greens entirely. I planted successions every 2 weeks, so I always had fresh leaves ready to harvest. That one change alone saved me close to $100 per month. Herbs were the second biggest impact. A single basil plant produces more leaves than you could ever buy in those plastic containers, and it keeps producing all summer long. I planted basil, parsley, cilantro, mint, rosemary, and thyme, and I stopped buying fresh herbs completely. The savings were remarkable, but more importantly, the quality was incomparable. Herbs lose their flavor within days of being cut, and what you buy at the store has often been sitting in a warehouse for a week or more. What I picked from my garden minutes before dinner had a depth of taste that made everything I cooked better. Tomatoes were the third major category. A single healthy tomato plant can produce 20 to 30 pounds of fruit over a season, and some varieties produce even more. I grew 10 plants in my first serious year, and I harvested over 200 pounds of tomatoes. At $3 to $4 per pound for organic tomatoes, that represented close to $800 worth of produce from plants that cost me less than $30 to start. The math was undeniable, and I became obsessed with maximizing every square foot of my growing space. Peppers, cucumbers, and zucchini filled in the gaps. These crops are prolific and easy, and they produce heavily during the summer months when my family eats the most fresh vegetables. I learned to succession plant cucumbers, so they kept coming even after the first wave of plants started to decline. I grew far more zucchini than we could eat fresh, and I learned to shred and freeze the excess for use in winter baking. Nothing went to waste, and every pound I preserved was another pound I did not have to buy later. The key insight that transformed my approach was understanding that a garden is not a one-time event. It is a system that produces value continuously when managed correctly. I stopped thinking about individual plants and started thinking about production per square foot per month. A bed that grows lettuce in spring can grow beans in summer and then kale in fall. By rotating crops and planting intensively, I was able to triple the output of my small garden compared to when I grew things haphazardly. That intensity is what allowed me to hit the $300 per month savings target. I also learned that preservation is essential if you want to maintain savings through the winter months. During peak harvest season, I was producing far more than my family could eat fresh. Instead of letting that abundance rot, I invested in simple preservation methods. I froze tomato sauce, blanched and froze green beans, pickled cucumbers and dried herbs. My chest freezer became an extension of my garden, holding the summer harvest until we needed it in January. Those preserved foods replaced expensive winter grocery purchases and extended my savings across the entire year. The initial investment was modest. I spent about $200 in my first year on seeds, soil amendments, basic tools, and some fencing to keep out rabbits. That investment paid for itself within the first 2 months of harvest, and everything after that was pure savings. In subsequent years, my costs dropped even further because I saved seeds from my best plants and built soil fertility using free materials like leaves and grass clippings. By year 3, my annual gardening expenses were under $50, and my savings had increased as my skills improved. What surprised me most was how little time it actually required. I had always assumed that growing significant amounts of food would demand hours of daily labor, but that was not true. Once my systems were established, I spent about 30 minutes per day on average tending the garden. Some days I did nothing at all, and other days I spent an hour or two during planting or harvest season. The total time investment was less than I spent watching television each week, and the return was tangible food on my table and money staying in my bank account. There is also a quality dimension that cannot be measured in dollars alone. The vegetables I grow taste better than anything I can buy because I harvest them at peak ripeness and eat them within hours. Store-bought produce is picked early to survive shipping, and it never develops the same depth of flavor. My kids, who used to complain about eating vegetables, now ask for seconds because they can taste the difference. That shift in our family eating habits has value that goes beyond the grocery bill, but it started with the simple act of planting seeds in my backyard. I want to be clear that this approach requires some learning. My first year was not perfect, and I made plenty of mistakes. I planted too much of some things and not enough of others. I lost crops to pests and diseases I did not know how to manage. But each failure taught me something, and by my second season, I had corrected most of my errors. Gardening is a skill that improves with practice, and the financial rewards grow as your abilities develop. Anyone willing to invest a few seasons of learning can achieve similar results. The $300 monthly savings I achieved is not a ceiling, it is a starting point. Gardeners with more space or more experience routinely save even more. Some families I know have reduced their grocery spending by $500 or more per month by growing intensively and preserving aggressively. The potential scales with your commitment and your available land, but even a small backyard can make a meaningful impact. A single raised bed, properly managed, can save $50 per month, and most yards have room for much more than that. What I find most compelling about this approach is how it compounds over time. The skills you develop in year 1 make year 2 easier and more productive. The soil you build gets better with each season. The seeds you save adapt to your specific conditions. The preservation methods you learn become second nature. After a few years, you have a food production system that runs almost on autopilot and delivers consistent value month after month. That kind of long-term return is rare in any investment, and it comes with the added benefit of fresh, healthy food for your family. I also discovered that growing food reconnected me to something important that modern life had taken away. There is satisfaction in eating a meal that you produced yourself, with your own hands and your own effort. That satisfaction does not show up on a spreadsheet, but it is real, and it matters. My relationship with food changed when I started growing it. I waste less because I know what it takes to produce. I appreciate more because I watched it grow from seed. Those intangible benefits have made me a happier and more grounded person. So if you are tired of watching your grocery budget climb every month, consider what your backyard could do for you. You do not need acres of land or years of experience. You just need a willingness to start and a commitment to learn as you go. The vegetables you grow this summer could be the beginning of a transformation that saves you thousands of dollars per year while improving your health and your connection to the food you eat. That opportunity is waiting right outside your door, and the only thing standing between you and those savings is the decision to begin. Take that first step this season, and you will look back a year from now, amazed at how much your life has changed from such a simple choice. The garden is ready whenever you are, and so are the rewards that come with it. Every seed you plant is a small investment in your future, and every harvest reminds you that self-sufficiency is not a dream, but a practical reality within your reach. Start today and let your backyard become the source of abundance it was always meant to be.